Hi Ladybirds, I've got Jigsaw Genie with me here today. Now Jigsaw Genie has got another new challenge for us. Should we find out a little bit about what it is? Let's hear. Really? Wow. Jigsaw Genie says that there is a special week happening this week. It's happening across the school, it's happening across the country, where we're thinking a little bit about our well-being. And we're thinking about what that word means and how we can look to improve it. Now, I wonder, could you pause at home and talk about, have you ever heard of the word well-being before? Do you know anything about what it means? Okay, ladybirds. So, the word well-being, well, I'm going to see if I can turn it the other way around. So instead of saying well-being, I'm going to say being well. And I think that gives you a little bit of a clue to what that word well-being means. It means that we are trying to make sure that we are feeling as happy and as healthy as we can. Now, sometimes people feel really, really happy and they feel really, really healthy. And sometimes people don't always feel really happy and healthy. And so what is really useful and really important is if we can think of ways that we can help each other, so that when we feel really, really happy and healthy, that's brilliant. But when we're maybe not feeling really happy and healthy, we also have got ideas about how we can help ourselves get back to that happy and healthy place. Now, what I'm going to see is what Jigsaw Genie's got for you for your first challenge. Let's have a listen. Really? Oh, Jigsaw Genie says he's got a picture to show you. Would you like to see the picture? Let's have a little look. What picture is it? Oh, look at this. Jigsaw Genie's been doing some drawing today. And who is that, Jigsaw Genie? Me, is it? Oh, wow. Jigsaw Genie's had a go at drawing me. What's he put at the top? He's put, what makes a happy person? What makes a healthy person? Oh, so your challenge today then, Ladybirds, is to see if you can start off. So challenge number one is to draw yourself and see if you can have a think about answering those questions. Now, if you draw yourself maybe in the middle of some paper or on your whiteboard, see if you can then have a think a little bit about, and it might be that what I should have said as well, you might want to get your grown-up to help you a little bit with your drawing if you want to. You might want to do some together and show, think a little bit about your body, what your body looks like and how to draw. And then have a little think about, so what makes a happy person? What makes a healthy person? And you might then want to get maybe some post-it notes and stick them around the edge so that you've got enough room. Or if you don't have post-it notes, that's absolutely fine. You might want to write it around the edge. You might want to whip up some little bits of paper and put them around the edge. It doesn't matter how you do your task, it's fine. And your challenge to see if you can think about those things. What makes a happy person? What makes a healthy person? And what will make you feel happy and healthy? See if you can pause now and see if you can go and have a go at that challenge. Okay, ladybirds. So with Jigsaw Genie, me and him started to think about some of our ideas too, about what makes you feeling really happy or healthy. Would you like to hear some of our ideas? And maybe you can then be sharing some of your ideas too. So let's have a look. Oh, we came up with lots of important ideas here. Some of the ideas we came up with were things like fitness. So we were thinking about, it's really important to do things like walking and running so that we're trying to keep our bodies really, really healthy and really, really fit. That was one thing we thought about. Another thing we thought about, something called an eat well plate. Now what this means is we thought about the types of food we have. So sometimes it's nice to have food that are things like chocolate or sweets. But if we were to have that all the time, it wouldn't make us feel very well. So there are other times where we want to make sure we're not eating those foods. And an Eat Well plate tells us that we have a little bit of chocolate and that's okay, but we would have a lot of things like fruit and vegetables, because that really is what's going to make us feel mainly a lot better within ourselves. What other things did we think of? Oh, we thought things like 5 a day for eating, very important. What else did we think of? Oh, this is a really good one. Clean teeth. Brushing your teeth and making sure that they're very clean, because that's really important. Now, there are many more ones. I won't go through all of them, but you might have noticed that so far, some of the things that I've focused on are what we call the physical things. So I've focused a lot on my body, and I've thought about parts of my body, like my teeth and how I look after my teeth, or my stomach and my health and how I look after that. But there's another really important part of your body that you have to look after, and that is actually the mental health that you have. And that means that you have the physical health, which is what you can really see. So that's like how well your arms are, how well your face is, how well your legs are moving. But there's also the mental health, and that is how your head is feeling. So how inside of your head, within your brain, it's how your mood is, how your feelings are. And there are lots of things about that too. Now, I started thinking of those things too. And I thought, what really affects that? Well, one of them is friendships. So it's thinking about, it's so nice to know, especially in the time that we're in at the moment where it's not as easy to see friends, that friendships are there and that you could have friends with different people. Other things I thought, talking is so important, that we're able to talk to each other and that you know that you're allowed to talk about your feelings, and that's a really good thing. And it's important that adults talk about their feelings and that children talk about their feelings, because you should never feel like you can't talk if you don't want to, because that wouldn't be very good for you. You always want to make sure that people know how you're feeling, so that they can either celebrate and go, yeah, you're doing brilliantly well, or, are you not feeling so good today? Why don't we see if we can do something that's going to make it much better? What other things? Oh, please, thank you, using manners, being polite, being kind, being caring. Those things are quite important. Oh, I know what's really important for mental health as well for me is sleep. Thinking about sleep, making sure, are you getting enough rest? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you looking after yourself so that you're feeling good in the morning when you're getting up? Now, there are many more. And what I want you to do now for your challenge 2 is see if you can have a go at pausing the video, see if you can think about all the things that you thought of, see if you can maybe highlight or decide which ones do you think you talked about which affect your body, the physical things. Which things do you think affect the mental health for your well-being? Okay, about how you're feeling. Were there any things that maybe you didn't get that I put down and you thought, we didn't think of that? Are there lots of things that I'm sure I haven't put down because I haven't said about all of my ideas? I've just shared some of them. So see if you can have a pause and do that next. Well done, ladybirds. So we're now into our final little part today for Jigsaw Genie's challenge. Now, Jigsaw Genie has been thinking about people that help us at the moment and some of the extraordinary superheroes that we've been learning about. And one of them he thought about was a builder. And the reason I'm telling you this, hopefully it'll make sense in a moment, but the builder he was thinking about is that builders often have a little toolbox. And they have a toolbox because when they're going about their day, they wouldn't be able to build lots of things without having the tools to do it with. And that is a little bit like your amazing well-being. It's going to be a little bit tricky sometimes to feel really, really happy and to feel really, really healthy if you don't have some of the tools to help you do it. And so, what I'd like you to see if you can do for your final challenge today is think about what some of those tools might be. What do you think some of those tools might be that will help you to feel those wonderful feelings of physical things like having clean teeth? What would you need to do to have clean teeth? What would you need? Well, I can think of one thing straight away. You need a toothbrush, wouldn't you? Now, some of those things, like the physical things, they might be a little bit more straightforward to think about. What about some of the other things? So when we've been talking about well-being, we're thinking about our mental well-being. So mental is that word where we're thinking about in our heads of how we're feeling. What about things like talking? What would be in your toolbox if we think that talking about feelings is important? What do you think might be in your toolbox? Maybe in your toolbox it's not something that's quite as physical to see. So maybe it's not a toothbrush that's maybe going to help you with talking, but maybe it's a comfy space on the sofa. Maybe it's having a nice blanket around you at night time and being able to snuggle up and talk to a grown up. Maybe it's just having some time together. And that's not an easy thing to put in a toolbox, is it? Time. But it might be that you think, oh, actually, that's something we need to have a little bit of time where we can just talk about how we're feeling and whether we're feeling really, really good about ourselves, whether we're feeling happy and healthy, or whether we're not feeling as happy. And maybe what could we do to try and make ourselves feel a bit happier? So, what your final challenge is today is to see if you can think about a little toolbox. Think about what it is that you might want to put inside your toolbox. Now, you could do this in lots of different ways. You might want to have a go at making yourself a little something like a special box, or maybe you want to put a little poster up on your fridge, or you can do this in any way you want. You might want to make yourself something where you physically put them inside, and you could have a go at thinking, oh, for my toolbox, something that I know that I'm going to need is that I'm going to think, oh, I need to have a little toothbrush in there. And so you can maybe draw a little picture of a toothbrush and pop it in. Or it might be that you think, oh, actually, I'd like to draw some of my ideas around the outside. So you might want to do a little toolbox and then draw some things around the outside. And you could maybe draw a little picture. So if it was maybe like the talking one that I said and how important it is that we feel like we can talk to each other, then it might be that for your talking one, you have a think about maybe doing a couple of faces from talking, something like that. So that's what I'd like you to do. And then I'd like you to see if you can maybe add to your toolbox over the next few days or weeks if you need to, or have your toolbox at home somewhere where you can access it and look at it. And so you can have a think about, what things are maybe a little bit tricky at the moment. Now, some things are trickier to have. Friendships can be a little bit tricky, but we're still trying to do little things where we can help. So things like our Friday video call, that could be something that you have in as a little tool that help you with your friendships. So it's all those types of things, and hopefully they will give you a little bit of help during the week to celebrate the times you're feeling really happy and healthy, and to also think about other things that you might need to think about for ways you could make yourself feeling really happy and healthy. Okay, Ladybirds, I hope you enjoy this challenge, and I look forward to seeing you for the next one with Jigsaw Genie. See you later. Bye.